Welcome, Anna.
Thank you, Emil.
I enjoyed talking to you over the last half an hour before this interview.
Yeah.
You seem to be really calm. You definitely remind me of a lot of amazing people that I know, including Giselle that you just met. And you're very calculated with your timing, how you do things in your life.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're the person that rushes into things. So you do everything when it feels is a perfect timing. Who is Anna? What does Anna do?
So essentially, I'm a 30-year-old woman from migrant parents that came here. So my father came here from Fiji in 1989 with $3,000 and just a
Okay.
shirt on his back. My
Right.
mother hardly knew English. To be honest, she didn't even know how to operate in an elevator.
Yes.
So that's how much of, that's how, I guess, much from the village that they were.
Yes.
You know,
Reminds
so
me of my family.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So essentially, you know, having that, having a father that gave me that business knowledge, because my dad's been in business,
Yes.
I think since '99 now.
Yes.
And just looking up to him, I always knew that I wanted to get into business at some stage. I just didn't know when and how.
Yes.
And I worked for someone for about 5 years. And in 2016, I just woke up one day and I was like, no, that's it. I just got to start.
Yes.
And then I launched Brisbane Brows.
Yes.
And it's just been rolling over ever since. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Which is interesting because at such a young age,
Yeah.
you had choice to make. Do
Yeah,
you either
absolutely.
work for somebody
Yeah.
all your life?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that if that completes you as an individual.
Of course.
Or you're going to start your own journey,
Of course.
which is not easy because
No.
building any business, there's sacrifice you're going to have to make, and you're not going to have as much freedom as you would by working for somebody else,
Yes.
specifically in the early stages of your business. Because, you know, when you're starting any business, hardest thing to do that time is to get business, get clients.
Exactly.
And then you're going to keep them, which is another story.
Yeah.
Which means you sacrifice time from seeing your friends or going out or whatever you wanted to do.
It was so from 2016 until I would say 2022, it was 7 days, 9 till 9, if not longer.
Yes.
So there was no social life, there was no boyfriends, there was none of that, no time
Yes.
for any of that. But it was, realistically, my goal was to be self-reliant. So
Yes.
I didn't want to rely on a man per
Yes.
se.
Yes.
I just wanted to be self-sufficient enough that, you know, by a certain age, hopefully in my earlier years, I can retire.
Yes.
And
But you had to pay the price
absolutely.
in your young age.
Yes.
And
yeah.
that's what I always say, that in any journey that you take, you have to pay the price of time. Because you
Exactly.
can't build successful business overnight.
No.
And you can't build successful business by sacrificing time with loved ones or with whatever you want to do in your spare time as well. Now, at age 30, you do run your own business,
Yes.
great business with great reputation, and you're also a property investor.
Yes.
So money that you're making by running your business, you're still utilizing that money to do even better.
Absolutely.
How do you manage it both?
So essentially, my main focus was always to not have any debt,
Yes.
or, you know, as little debt as I can. And essentially, so from 2016 until 2020, I was just saving every
Yes.
dollar I could. So like you were talking about with you and your wife,
Yes.
like, you know, in the earlier years, you weren't really spending on yourselves. You guys
Yes.
were building your business for a long
Yes.
time.
20 years.
20 years, sorry.
20 years, you just head down, bum up,
Yep.
and, you don't even realize there's a daylight out there.
That's right.
Because when you, like you said,
when you're
yourself,
focused,
for a long time, you were
yeah.
working from 9 to 9.
Yeah.
So I bet there was a stage of your life you didn't know if it was Tuesday or
No
Saturday.
idea. Absolutely.
Because to you, there was no difference.
Absolutely. So essentially, I took all my savings and again, like I was just waiting for the opportunity, what felt right. And I remember this particular day, I was sitting there with, I think it was like one of the girls that did some admin and some like Instagram posts and things like that for me. And we're just sitting down and we're chatting. And I was like just scrolling on, I think it was Google. I was like, oh, there's this property down the road. Let's go check it out. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay, might as well. And then we went down to the property just on Manly Road. And funnily enough, I think he worked for Ray and White at the time. And he comes through and it's her husband's cousin.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I believe in signs and synchronicities. So I just took it, okay, all right, this might be a sign. And within a week, the deal was done. And yeah, I was owning 2 properties that I've now subdivided and made into 3.
Yes.
And essentially, I have them positive gearing now.
Yes.
And my business, I pay no rent.
So you got
free, yeah, exactly. And which I think is good because now I don't have to pass on I don't have to raise my prices to my clients to substitute, just because I've moved into a commercial space.
Which is interesting because in most businesses,
yes,
even your competitors, they have to pay a lot of dollars for rent.
Yes.
So the part of the income that they're earning, it goes away. It doesn't belong to them straight away, which is actually a big part, specifically
large,
on a different locations as well.
Yes.
So looking back now, you're in a very, very competitive industry.
Yes.
When you started, maybe not as much. Today, competition is big.
Competition is very high.
How do you stay ahead?
So very early on, I knew that I needed to be ahead of the game. And the way in which I did that was by finding artists overseas that were 5 to 7 years ahead of the game in Australia and training with them. So like I was saying, went to Belgrade and then went to Kyiv in the Ukraine and trained through more so European artists because they had just foundational knowledge, the way that they executed their techniques, just even their consultation processes, their color theory, just their knowledge, it was just paramount. So I guess like you said, perfect your craft, right?
Yes.
So I just definitely focused on client satisfaction and details, so detail orientation in order to, I guess, have repeat customers and also, like I was saying before off camera, maintaining clients some of my clients I've had for 10 years.
Correct.
So, and I lied. I said I've only been doing it for 10 years, but it's actually 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, see? Like you said, you forget what day it is.
Yes.
So it's actually 13 years. But I think, a large part of that is not being fake with your customers, just being authentic, just being professional, but still being wholesome.
Yes.
And a genuine care, because at the end of the day, we're still people. We're not a transaction. So client focus, I think, is the biggest thing. So although there has been, I guess, a lot of new businesses that have opened and a lot of competition, it doesn't scare me. And my business hasn't been affected at all. So through COVID, from the start till now, consistent. Genuinely, there has never been a period in 6-7 years that there's been ups and downs. And I know that most businesses do go through that period, but genuinely, I have never experienced that.
I always say in business, hardest thing to do in any business is to get business.
That's right, yeah.
But then there's a second stage, maintaining clients.
That's right.
Because you can always get a client once. If you don't offer them good service, quality of work, it stops there.
That's right.
And one thing that I tell all my staff, every person you do business with, if you do right thing by them, if you offer them great service or quality of your work, they become your free employee.
100%.
People forget how important it is making a client happy and then referring you to others. Yes, there's a social media. I have a massive following. Yes, you can market your business through social media, through Google advertising, million platforms out there. But you can't run away from getting great work for your clients.
That's right.
Because if you deliver, they become your free salespeople.
Yeah.
Simple. In your work, if you do good work for a client and that lady or guy, and
Don't be biased.
yeah, exactly. Well, that lady, for example, she could be having coffee with her girlfriends, and
100%.
first thing, the girlfriends might notice, oh my God, how terrible or how good your brows are looking.
Yeah.
Who did it for you?
That's right.
If they're happy, they'll happily say who did it.
100%.
If they're not happy,
yeah.
they'll still say it, but not in a good way.
Not to your advantage.
Not to your advantage.
Yeah.
Correct. So, I always say, on start, when you're starting, obviously you do everything you can to market your business.
Yes.
But deeper you go into your business, every person does marketing on your behalf. They've all become free salespeople.
That's
They cost
right.
you $0.
I have never done any marketing.
Yes.
Never.
Well, you do.
Well, word of mouth, exactly.
That's marketing.
Yes.
It's
yes.
other people are doing it on your behalf.
Yes. Never done paid marketing.
Which is exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly. And that is the art of doing good business.
100%.
Because social media, everything can only represent your business well. But, at the end of the day, like I said, two factors. One, getting clients, and two, keeping them and getting them to come back to you again and again. And this morning I had my clients here who do business with one of my real estate companies, and we've been doing business for 5 years, and they've done, I think, 17 transactions.
Yeah.
Wow. And in any business, people judge you based on the what I would call last meal in a restaurant.
Yes.
Now, you can go to the same restaurant for 10 years,
yeah.
and once you get a bad meal,
That's
I'm not sure if I want to go there again, and same in any business.
Yeah.
We spoke earlier on about quality control. With your business, which is two businesses now, which you're going to touch on a second business in a minute as well. But with your main business right this second, you're the only employee of your business.
That's right.
So there's no room for error because you control entire process.
Quality control is
Quality control. Would you say that's one of the reasons why you do have a good reputation?
100%. 100%. And for instance, if there is anything that needs to be resolved, it's done promptly and it's done by the owner. So I think as a customer, like for instance, if a customer had an issue, for instance, if you stepped in there and he said, hi, I'm Emil, I'm the owner, I think a customer would have just a little bit more respect. Because if there's ever a conflict or anything that needs to be resolved, what does a customer generally say? I want to speak to the owner.
Well, I'm the owner.
That's right. So I just definitely believe that alongside quality control, that would be the main thing that has worked to my advantage.
One advice you would give to somebody who wants to get into the same industry?
Start small. Don't be embarrassed by social media and the facade and someone's got this car, someone's got this, because you don't know that the debt that they carry, you don't know the stresses that they're going through. And also in your case, which is very admirable, but you don't know the sacrifices that they've made to get there. You don't know how many years, you don't know, for instance, when I first started my business, it wasn't called Brisbane Brows, it was called Aesthetica by Anna Rai.
Right.
And, for about 6 months, again, clients were trying to recommend me. They're like, oh, what's her name again? Right? And they're like, oh, and then it's like, oh, that's too hard. And then I was like, a client said it to me once and I just sat back and thought about it. I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work. And then I was just in bed one night and I just thought Brisbane Brows. And it was around 2017.
Which is interesting. The name is so good.
It wasn't taken. Yeah, it was not taken. I was shocked. And, over the years, obviously, a lot of people have tried to take that name in different ways pass offers you and things like that. But I just have ignored it always. But again, I think a good business name for someone starting off, and don't be afraid to start small. And again, every customer, treat it like your last. So give them 100%. whether it be, client focused, and also the product that you're delivering has to be amazing.
It's very hard work building good reputation.
Yes.
Very easy to ruin it.
That's what we were saying before.
And and talk of sacrifices, social media has made everybody look attractive.
Yep.
Everybody has a beautiful life. I mean, not many people go out there and cry. They're all like, I've been on this vacation, or I drive this, or I have that.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I always say to people that are watching me on social media, they might see, a lot of my cars and stuff, and I just step back and I said, guys, I'm 44.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't have kids. Not because I didn't want kids.
No.
There's the sacrifice that I paid.
you have to make, yeah.
And we all do it for the different reasons. I always say that, somebody asked me a question the other day, how do I become a millionaire? How do I make my first million? My answer was to them, by not thinking about making $1 million.
That's right.
Become expert in your field.
That's right.
Expert in your craft, money will come, obviously with a lot of hard work, sacrifice as well. But two, have a good reason why you're doing it. My reason why I wanted to be successful, if you want to call it that, one, I was hungry physically when I was growing up because I was so poor, and I grew up in a war zone, so I never wanted to be hungry physically. Two, I believe in every family surname or family tree, and my surname apparently goes back for 600 years. They're saying there's going to be one person in every family tree that's going to change direction of that family.
Yep.
And I feel like for 600 years in my family, we all been poor. Very poor. And I'm not saying money makes a big difference, but I know if I die tomorrow, that people around me, they're going to be looked after. They're not going to be stressed.
That's right.
Generations after me, the kids can have good education, good health.
That's right.
My little dog, which you see, little black dog, Charlie.
Yes.
And Charlie had cancer.
Yeah.
If I didn't have $30,000 over the last 6 months, he would be dead by now.
That's right.
He's cancer free now.
Yeah.
And that's my little dog. Well, he's like my little child because, I don't have kids. I have 3 dogs, 2 little ones and 1 big one.
Yeah.
Money can help. I always say one thing to all my staff that have ability to earn a lot. I employ, a lot of real estate agents, and a lot of them can make $3-4 million a year. And ones that are doing okay, I ask them a question. If you die today, will your family be okay tomorrow? So if you have 2 kids that are aged 2 and 3, and you have a wife or husband, and if you die today, is your wife or husband, are they going to stress about school fees? Are you going to have to move your kids from good school to be in a bad school?
Yeah.
Because you can't afford it? Are they going to have a food on the table? If your partner, are they going to stress about the rent? If answer, they're going to be stressed or work harder.
Yeah.
Sacrifice more for their future. So now, if I died when I was 25 or 30, I would be angry with myself from up there somewhere because I know that I didn't make the difference. And now if I die today,
you're happy.
Take me. So happy. Because anybody after me, their path should be easier than it was for me. What was your reason by doing what you do?
Again, like I said, my dad was in business. So you know how sometimes you're born with like certain qualities?
Yes. You don't have it or you don't.
That's right. Unfortunately.
That is a fact.
It is. But, and genuinely, I just knew that I wasn't satisfied working for someone else. I didn't know why. I thought maybe it's my industry, maybe this isn't for me. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I just wasn't happy. And I knew growing up, look, I wasn't the easiest teenager. I was hard to control. So I knew I didn't like being constrained. I knew that very early on. I needed flexibility wherever it may be, creative or in whichever way. And so essentially, I do believe that it was more so just having the flexibility and moving forward in that way. So
What would you say is the hardest thing about running your business?
I guess not stressing over customer, like what customers think. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes.
So
Because you
just,
put high expectation on yourself.
yes,
To you, it matters
yes,
how they feel
exactly.
and what they think.
Exactly. So I think, especially earlier on in my business, I would always go to bed and think, oh, did I do everything? Oh, could I have done this? Could I have done that? Always second guessing. And so it's taken a long time, but
But
I've
that's
just
not a
let it
bad
go.
thing. That's care
It's not.
factor.
It's not.
That's you
Yes.
caring. If you didn't
Yes.
care, then it wouldn't matter.
Exactly. So I think it has its benefits, but then it has its downfalls as well.
Do you ever stress now?
You know what? No, not as much. Definitely not as much. And I don't know if it's the fact that it came through now being better at my craft and just
Yes.
being able to do it eyes closed, or if it's the fact that I've already gone through so many trials and tribulations to
Yes.
understand the patterns and the cycles. And okay, if this happens, okay, I can fix it in this way. If a client says this, I can do this. Like just already having that experience
Yes.
allows me to not stress as much.
See, one thing I said this in my last interview that
Yeah.
I've done once. I do a lot of posts on my social media, and once I was talking about the stress, and I said I don't stress.
Yeah.
I literally don't stress
At all.
at all, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you why.
Yeah.
People stress because of the issue that they're facing.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, I have an option. If I stress or don't stress,
That's
I'm
right.
still facing it.
100%. That is
And
true.
it's not going to go away.
That's right.
And with me, I always say your mind is your best friend and your biggest enemy. Everything's controlled by your own
100%.
head. And with me, because that issue is there, if
Yeah.
I am stressed and upset, it's
Yeah.
not going to help me make right decisions to solve whatever I'm facing.
That's
So
right.
with
That
me
is true.
is problem is there or
Mhm.
whatever
How are we going to
I
resolve
have,
it?
and I've learned the art of actually having fun solving issues
Yeah.
because it's there, and I put such a huge value on my time that I constantly keep preaching about time that we're only tourists on this planet, and one day it's going to be over, and you're never going to meet somebody who's 85 years old or 90, and if you ask them, is your grandparents, are they alive?
They're alive.
How old is your grandma or grandpa?
I think my grandpa's 97,
If you really
96.
if you really want to see value of life,
Yes.
ask your grandparents one question: how fast did life go by?
Yes.
They're never going to tell you it took forever to get here.
No.
They're all going to tell you, oh my God, I was your age yesterday, and
That's
now
right.
I'm 90.
That's
Do you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I always keep telling people, the clock doesn't stop ticking.
Yeah.
So, the time just keeps passing. And the bad news is
Yeah.
you're going to be 40 tomorrow and 50 day after. Time goes.
Yeah.
Because yesterday you were 20. Would you agree?
Yeah. No, it is true. Definitely.
Time doesn't, so what we do with our time is so critical. And then going back to the stress, I'm not letting stress ruin this day that I never lived before.
100%.
So,
I think just on that note, I think also something that when I first got into business, you have certain aspirations and okay, once I get here, I'll be satisfied, or okay, I just want to get to this, I just want this car. And it's so funny. I remember back in the days, I was like, oh, I just want an AMG. That's all I want. Like that's, and I swear to God, Emil, once I got it, I was like, oh, okay, but now I want a Lamborghini. Like now I want this, you know what I mean? It's like you always want more, not in a bad sense, but just to push yourself that you can get more.
There's nothing wrong wanting more as long as you're happy where you are today.
100%, yes.
I have a lot of cars. I got a warehouse where I keep my cars.
Yeah.
And but I don't chase something that I don't chase empty happiness.
That's right.
I do everything in my life that makes my life better, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And for me, I think being an entrepreneur or businesswoman and men, I think we like the challenge of chase.
That's
challenge,
right.
not for the wrong reasons. Challenge of if I can push
Getting
myself
more.
to that level, if I can push myself to that level and that level, car becomes the chase of getting it, and then when you have it, it's just driving.
That's
it's like,
right.
but that
it's just
and
a
goes
thing.
and goes back to one advice I give to every young individual. They're dreaming of, I want to have a Lamborghini one day.
Yeah.
And they forget to enjoy the journey.
100%. No, it's
know,
very
because, I wanted to get a Lamborghini.
true. Yeah.
Now I actually have the best Lamborghini in the country, because the one that I have is only 250 in the world. Only
Yeah.
one in Queensland.
Yeah.
So unique. But what I always did, I enjoyed my journey going from $0 to be able to buy a car.
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're just going to be so running a race, and then you're going to lose 10, 15 years of your life.
Yeah.
And you're going to buy it, and you bought it today, and so what? You're not going to
Yeah.
sleep in it, but you forgot to
Yeah.
enjoy the journey of hustle, hard work,
That's right.
dealing with the pain of the business. And, you said you were working for a very long time, from 9 to
Yes.
9.
Yes.
I mean, over those years, a lot of times you woke up in the morning not fresh, still tired.
100%.
You're
Yes.
supposed to go to bed so you can be fresh in the morning. I remember,
Yeah.
I'll go to bed, and in the morning I feel like I'm more tired than I was before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I was so consistent at work. But then, I'm such a believer that, your brain can convince your body that just keep going. Who cares how you're
100%.
feeling?
Yeah.
I'm in charge
Yes.
as a brain. Your next step in your business is education.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
So I've been, again, you know me, I take my time. So I have been always doing in-person education
Yes.
with groups and one-on-one. So essentially I was building my knowledge in how to teach students, and I have been in the process of creating like an online platform that it can, I guess, not only help students from all over the world and nationally also, but I can pass on my knowledge and grow my business in another sector, essentially
Correct.
education. So not only can I pass on my foundational knowledge that I've acquired for X amount of time,
13 years.
13 years, there you go. However, I can also build my business in another avenue while still maintaining the quality and control that I have maintained for all those years, and expand, essentially. So, yeah.
And there's no limit
No,
online.
exactly. So I guess in the sense of, in a shop, or if you're teaching students online, in person, there is always costs of materials and your time as well. So in this sense, and with this, I guess, business strategy, you can still expand, maintain the quality control, maintain your time. Yes, exactly. And I guess service more students.
Correct.
So a larger quantity as well, and not
limited.
deprive the quality as well. So it's actually amazing, like social media,
Yes.
the internet, just the world is your oyster. So
And
yeah.
nothing is far at the moment. When
Yes.
it comes to any business that you start, it's so easier to expand the audience
That's
worldwide online. While physically, there's so much you can do.
Yeah.
Specifically, I feel like you're so proud of your work that you're the only one that is actually doing it right now, because your control of
Yes.
quality is so crucial to you.
Yes.
Because it just takes one
Well,
bad employee to ruin
That's
your
right.
reputation.
And I think as any business owner, you have, I guess it's your baby, right? So you have like a tight grip on your
Yes.
business. So it's hard to kind of let off the reins in a
Yes.
way. But I do definitely feel that, maintaining the positive reviews and
Yes.
positive word of mouth, it has been for my industry per se.
Yes.
Different industries might be a little bit different, but I had a specific vision. And my vision was to work independently. Again, still having a lot of, building a lot of capital through working for yourself, but, expanding in a way that it still allows me to maintain my positive reputation
Yes.
as well. So, yeah.
What is the best thing about what you do?
Definitely the client satisfaction. That's I definitely don't think you could, like, I love my job, right? Just like you love your job.
Yes.
I definitely don't think I could do what I do without loving it. I genuinely do love what I do, and it's because of my customers and building that relationship and knowing who they are and what they do. Because doing my job, it's like muscle memory, right?
Yes.
You just do it and it goes. But
Yes.
I think definitely my customers, I know everything about them. You know, some customers, like for instance, they used to come in with their young daughters, and now their young daughters I see more than them. So it's like it's swapped. So you know,
Which is obviously a big testament to you that
100%,
your work was
100%,
good
yeah.
enough that they want to come there now
Exactly. So yeah, it's crazy, and like you said, just sometimes like you do have to, as business owners, we're just constantly go 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 go.
Yes.
When we actually do stop and look back, I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit. Which
Interesting, and I agree.
yeah, we
Do you ever
really
stop
don't.
for a minute and say, you know what,
Look at what I've done.
you
Yeah,
have done well?
yeah, yeah. I would say this year is the first year that I have given myself
Some credit.
credit. Exactly. I still have a long journey to go on, but from where I came from, and like I said, when I first started my business, had nothing. I had to get a loan from my mum. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
$0.
And you had to repay it to your mom.
Exactly. All about that.
That's
But again, and you know, I had definitely a lot of family support, but not in the sense of like, here's some money, start your business. It was always like I knew that I had to repay whatever, you know, and it was a tattoo machine, a tattoo class. I think it was like 1,500. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too much, but you know, again, because my dad has his business, I would often hear a lot of family members and people in the community saying, "Oh, you know, her dad's well off. You know, she'll just get a handout." But my dad takes every dollar. Like, you know what I mean? So he definitely helps, but he's, you know, he always tells me stand on your own 2 feet. If you got to do it, you got to do it yourself.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I don't know why I wanted to get into business, because again, if I didn't want to work, I don't have to work, but I genuinely am passionate about what I do and
Well,
helping people.
I don't think you are employed. I don't think you work.
Yeah.
I always say that I truly don't work. You know, we call it work, but I don't. Because I love coming to my businesses.
Yep. 100%.
And so I don't see it. Time is going to go. 24 hours a day, the time is going to keep passing. And, you know, I can say, I want to go on vacation or whatever. But to me, what I do, that is my holiday. That's what completes me, what makes me happy. And specifically when you know you're good at it and you know that, then you're thriving. Then you just, you know, I always say the art to happiness to me is when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I used to go to school, and after school, the second school is finished, I would go on the street and play soccer with my mates when you're 6 years old. And when you're 6, 7 years old, no problems in the world, no care in the world. You're just having so much fun with your little mates, so innocent, playing soccer. That's how I live my life.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit older, but that's what I do. I play that little soccer that I was 6 years. I'm just so having fun every single day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm a huge fan when I see anybody doing well in business.
100%.
And specifically when I say women in business, I love that. I love strong women that are doing anything.
Yes.
Saying that, I always say that everybody's equal on a field.
Yes.
And we all can use excuses, you know, why I can't do better or whatever. I always get completed when I see people giving it a go, because it's not easy.
No.
There's no such a thing as overnight success.
No.
It takes time. Like you said, this is the first time in 13 years this year that you said, hey,
we pull back the reins.
Do you know what I mean? Because your
exactly.
head is been in sand.
Yeah.
You know, head down, bum up, just keep going. And then the second you lift your head up, oh, wow, I've actually gotten somewhere.
That's right.
It's been a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you so
It's
much.
I think that you're definitely, and you should be definitely, role model to any female and male that wants to start their own business,
100%.
because I feel like the way you have done it is probably smarter the way I have done it. You gave it a go, but you've been very calculated
Yeah.
when you go to your next step.
Yes.
With me, I was always, when I was young, I wanted to do 10 things at a time. Completely different now. One thing that I keep preaching to people, if you want to start a second business or side business or side hustle, make sure the main one is running
Solid.
so well
Yeah.
on its own before you
Yes.
start going crazy
That's
elsewhere,
right.
because
Yep.
first one can suffer too
That's right.
if you don't give it
Lose
enough love.
focus. Yes, exactly.
Thank you for today.
Thank you, Emil.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.